Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today I will be refuting this Socrates' son's video regarding me. He challenged you, brother Dawa. Islam necessitates determinism. Okay, so that's the funniest part. He just says does Islam necessitate determinism? That's a challenge to me. So in his own video, he puts the title that does Islam necessitate determinism? Okay, question mark. So deterministic, what kind of determinism he's talking about, what kind of free will he's talking about, because these things are different. These things are something when you're having a debate you need to discuss, and you need to tell what is your position on these. What do you mean? Okay, what do you mean by what you're saying? This is a part of how a debate works. Okay, so he says Islam necessitates determinism. What does that mean? First of all, when we say necessary, we mean in all possible worlds. So if Islam necessitates determinism, in every world that there is Islam, there is going to be Islam will conclude, meaning that there cannot be any possible interpretation or any possible way to look at it that it will be not deterministic. This is what it means, that Islam necessitates determinism. So if a person, a Muslim, uses his complete rationality, uses the correct methodology, then he needs to be and he is logically consistent and logically honest, he needs to be a determinist. This is the question here. So let's look into that. What is determinism? Let's go. If you go to encyclopedia of Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, they give an nearly all-encompassing definition, and it goes as follows. Determinism, the word is governed by determinism. Okay, the world is governed by determinism if and only if, given a specified way, things are at a time t, the way things go thereafter is affixed as a matter of natural law. The world is governed by. So nothing in the world, and when we're talking about world, we're talking about basically our reality. It is governed by deterministic laws, or so you can understand it in that way. So basically everything has to be governed by deterministic laws. And what does Britannica say about, what does Britannica give the determinism? What is determinism? Britannica gives us, in philosophy theory, that all events, including moral choices, are completely determined by previous actions or causes. This is what determinism is. So does Islam necessitate that determinism? Okay, now that's it. That's all I needed to do. That show that determinism, the position of determinism, means that all choices. So someone who is a determinist needs to believe that all choices are determined by something previous to it. Now, if we skip to 12 minutes and 48 seconds of his video.
Logic rejects humans being responsible for their actions in an absolute sense. Even if we have free will, at best is partial free will. By no doubt, our environment and our natural predispositions, our physiology in other words, defines the bulk of our will. Conclusion: Muslims at best can be partially deterministic, still deterministic.
There you go. You see, he himself says that Muslims at best can be partially deterministic, but still deterministic. There is no issue with that. We can believe some things are deterministic, but we are not determinist, because determinism is the philosophical position that everything is governed or is determined by something previous to it. Okay, if you're partially deterministic, you're not a determinist. You are a soft determinist. Okay, you're a soft, or you are a interdeterminist, even compatibilist. Okay, people can be partially determinist. Okay, for example, compatibilists are partial determinist, but they believe in free will, and they are compatibilists. They do not fall under determinist. So if compatibilists are not determinist, and compatibilism means that they can believe in partial determinists, and they can be partial deterministic, then Muslims are compatibilists, not determinists. Because you see, there are basically 3 or 4 things you can see. Libertarian free will, which means that there is no determinism. Everything we do everything by our free will. Meaning that we have complete control. We can do 100% by our own choice. It is not due to something that is previous to us. And compatibilists, they say there is determinism, some sort of determinism, and then we have some sort of free will. They change what free will means. They basically change the second premise. The first premise being that everything is deterministic or determined, and then the second premise being we have free will, and the third premise being the second premise being free will is to act without deterministic features, and then the third premise being that we have, or the conclusion being we have free will. So the libertarians they reject that we have that we are governed by deterministic laws. Okay, so they don't believe that our actions or something are due to, or our acquirement of our deeds or of our actions are due to something that is caused by previous events. Okay, first of all, then there is a compatibilist who says that the free will is not like the libertarian free will. We do have free will, but they change the definition of free will. And then the third one is the determinist way, where they say that there is no free will. There can be no kind of free will, and it is just determinist. It is completely determinism. Whoever says that there can be no kind of free will is a determinist. He's not a compatibilist or a libertarian. Libertarian. I cannot say the word. So yeah. So we have concluded that no, Muslims do even by your own standards, being a Muslim does not necessitate being a determinist. Okay, because partial determinism, because in Britannica it clearly says that people like this are interdeterminist or compatibilist. Okay, you need to believe in all things to be determinism for it. Okay, we have given you definitions. So I'm sorry, bro, you're wrong. So let's go to his hadith. What does he say about the hadith? Okay, by the way, by this I've shown you that he himself has basically refuted himself by saying that Muslims can at best be partially deterministic. If they can be partially deterministic, then Islam does not necessitate determinism, because determinism means by you can, and I've given you sources what determinism is. By Stanford Encyclopedia, it is the world is governed by, and by Britannica's definition, it is that everything and all events are determined by determined laws. So if it is partially deterministic, then it is not determinism. It is partial determinism, or it is interdeterminism, or it is compatibilism, or something like that. And he himself gives the definition of causes. So if you're saying that all events, and then you're saying that you're giving the definition of determinism as all events, and then you're saying that Muslims can be partially deterministic, then you're refuting yourself here, bro. So if a Muslim has to be deterministic, it is not the same that he is partially deterministic, because if a Muslim is deterministic and he falls under determinism, then it's clearly the case that all events and causes. So he cannot be a partial determinist and then and it cannot be that he can be partially deterministic and then Islam necessitates determinism, because determinism is all events, not partial, all events. And the best part is that right above his comment there was another comment where a brother asked me, brother, I have a confusion. Okay, so he asked me, so basically we Muslims are compatibilist and not hard determinist. Okay, then I said we believe in destiny, not hard determinism. We believe in destiny, not hard determinism. So he is quoting the tweets and I am quoting the tweets as well. We Muslims believe in we don't believe in hard determinism, simple as that. So I don't see his position. What is he trying to say? And then I also say that you can be, okay, we believe in destiny, not hard determinism, and comparabilism. What I wanted to say here was compatibilism, of course, but not the best way to describe ourselves. Okay, so it is not best to describe ourselves as compatibilist either. Okay, but we are definitely not hard determinist. It's pretty simple. Okay, so here he is wrong. Al-Qadr does not negate free will. He needs to show how it does, because you see there is no jabr in Al-Qadr like in Allah's ilm. Allah's knowledge, there is no jabr. Jabr is force, or basically no causation. Like qadar does not cause you to do anything, while same as Allah's knowledge does not cause you to anything. So if Allah creates the qadr in Luh Mahfuz, he writes down our qadr, or when we are born, Allah decides and makes our qadr, then it does not follow that it is al-jabr. Okay, it is not forcing you, it is not it is not being compulsive on you to do something, because that is just not what al-qadr and al-ilm is. So you saying that because of al-qadr we have no free will, it is just a non secular, because it does not follow. Same thing, just cause something is suggestion doesn't mean that it is forcing you to do something. So that is just false. Okay, so he is quoting from Kitab al-Qadr, which is once again qadr. Qadr does not necessarily jabr. Okay, just cause something is qadr, destined, it does not necessarily force, because destiny is decided by Allah's knowledge. Okay, so whatever Allah knew is destined. That's just how it is. As God is all knowing and he has perfect knowledge, then whatever is within God's knowledge is destiny. There is no force on his creation from his knowledge or destiny. Okay, and this guy has no idea about hadith science. Just cause if you reject Sahih Muslim hadith doesn't mean you reject all hadith. It will just mean you reject Sahih Muslim's hadith. Okay, Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim, the reason that they have different books is because they sometimes do not agree with some hadiths that they thought were Hasan or Sahih. It's a different topic, but him saying that is false. Just cause you reject Sahih Muslim hadith does not mean you reject Sahih Bukhari hadith. You would not be considered a typical Sunni, but it does not mean you reject Sahih Muslim, you reject Sahih Bukhari. That's just false. Okay, then he talks about this hadith, okay, in which he points out, he begins to any the distance, a cubit distance away from paradise, when suddenly the writing of destiny overcomes him, and he begins to act like the denizens of hell, and thus enters hell. But if you continue that hadith, okay, and another one acts in the way that of the denizens of hell until there remains between him and hell a distance of cubit, then the writing of destiny overcomes him, and then he begins to act like the person of paradise and enters paradise. So you can clearly see, first of all, that both people of hell and heaven are overcome, if you want to say, this destiny. But what does it mean to overcome this destiny? First of all, like I said, destiny does not have any causal power. Okay, destiny does not cause anything. Destiny is just something that is written. Because if you go to another hadith, okay, which is very good, which is very good regarding the thing that he's trying to claim. Here we can clearly see in this hadith that here we go. In this hadith, Sahih Muslim 2644. Okay, so very close to the hadith that he quotes. Okay, in the end it say, and his deeds and actions, his death and his livelihood, these are all recorded. Then his documents of destiny is rolled, and there is no addition nor subtraction from it. So destiny has already been made, already been written, and that it is rolled. Okay, and this is talking about before his birth. So how come something that is written before his birth, okay, that is rolled up, cause? See, it doesn't cause. What it means is that this knowledge, it is emphasizing that even if somebody is doing good, okay, whatever is destined for him, he will end up doing it. He cannot go against it. He will end up doing it. He will choose himself to do it, but he will still end up doing it. This is what it means. You cannot go against your destiny, in the sense that whatever you're going to choose, Allah already knows what you're going to choose, and He has written your destiny according to it. There is no jabr here. There is no force here. He needs to prove some kind of force. Because if, for example, you can go to tafsir or something else, but if I go to, let's say, an Urdu translation of this hadith, he's quoting from in English, and here is an Urdu translation of the hadith. So yes, here we go. Yeah. और जन्नत के दरमियान एक बर्श के फासले रह जाता है तो अल्लाह के इल्म के मुताबिक, it's written in brackets, अल्लाह के इल्म के मुताबिक, according to Allah's knowledge, लिखा हुआ उस पर गालिब आ जाता है. Okay, so according to Allah's knowledge, whatever is written, okay, it becomes ghalib. Okay, it becomes you can say overcomes him. आ जाता है तो वो अहल जहन्नुम के अमल कर लेता है. So basically what it means, according to Allah's knowledge, he starts doing what was destined for him. Okay, that's just what it means. It doesn't say it forces him. So let's
said, Allah's messenger, should we not then depend upon our destiny and abandon our deeds? Thereupon he said, acts of everyone will be facilitated in that which has been created for him. So that whoever belongs to the company of the blessed will have good works made easier for him. And whoever belongs to the unfortunate ones will have evil acts made easier for him.
Belongs. So people belong to paradise or hell. They belong. And evil acts or good acts will be made easier for them. Okay, that's not free will.
okay, and then he just said they belong. That's not free will. Easier, it'll be made easier for them. That's not free will. Just cause that scenario is made easier for you, still have a choice to do it or don't do it. That's free will. Okay, if you belong, okay, you belong by your deeds. So Allah already knows who is going to do the good deeds and who will end up in paradise, and those people, by Allah's knowledge, He knows that they belong in paradise. So you still have free will, and you still belong, and Allah made something easier for you. See, it's absurd arguments, bro. Very bad arguments. Okay, and then he talks about this hadith.
Abu Hurairah reported Allah's messenger as saying, there was argument between Adam and Moses. Moses said to Adam, you are our father. You did us harm and caused us to get out of paradise. Adam said to him, you're Moses. Allah selected you for direct conversation and wrote with his own hand the book for you. Despite this you blame me for an act which Allah had ordained for me 40 years before He created me?
You blame me for an act which Allah has ordained for me 40 years before He created me. Okay, let's continue.
But he chooses a specific hadith, which is not complete hadith, because in Sahih Muslim there is also this hadith that's talk about the same scenario, which goes that okay. Now, what is your opinion? How long? This is Adam saying, what is your opinion? How long Torah would he between written before I was created? Moses said 40 years before Adam. Before Adam said, did you not see those words? Adam committed an error and he was enticed to do so. He, Moses, said, yes. Whereupon he, Adam, said, do you then blame me for an act that which Allah has ordained for me 40 years before He even created me? So it is talking about he was enticed and it was an error. So it's not like he was forced. He still had a choice. And for this, as he was enticed and he was an error, for this he says that, do you still blame me? So you can see that Socrates' son is misrepresenting our position here. That's a straw man.
Reported it from Allah's messenger, that a person performs deeds like the deeds of the people of paradise apparently before people, and he would be amongst the dwellers of hell. And a person acts apparently like the people of hell, but, in fact, he would be among the dwellers of paradise.
So people do deeds like the deeds of the people of paradise, yet they go to hell?
Yes, because there are people who do deeds such as people who give charity, okay, but they have the wrong intention. They're doing it for show off, and hence they will go to hell. There are different hadiths that support that claim, and there are people who do such things of the people of hell, like let's say they are stubborn or arrogant or something like that, but they're doing it with a good intention, and they will be in heaven. Because, for example, they are, let's take a modern example. They are enforcing the law, okay, and they are, being compulsive with the law, but you're doing it for the better good, okay. Some people might say that they're doing the people, or because they are forcing people, This is an act of people of hell, but they're doing it for the good and they have the good intention. So yeah, so he doesn't understand this hadith.
I said, Allah's messenger, there is happiness for this child who is a bird from the birds of paradise, for it committed no sin nor has he reached the age when one can commit sin. He said, Aisha, peradventure, it may be otherwise, because God created for paradise those who are fit for it while they were yet in their father's loins, and created for hell those who are to go to hell. He created them for hell while they were yet in their father's loins.
So,
Once again, buddy, destined and by knowledge, and they were created by his knowledge. They weren't forced to go to hell or heaven. They were destined. It is no jabr, there is no compulsion in these hadiths. You need to show compulsion. Bro, it's getting annoying right now. Okay, so he himself agreed that these hadiths is not directly linked to free will, but he's trying to show that Allah is, or God is a sadist, which is, not the topic at hand. So that is a red herring fallacy. Okay, I'm not going to entertain fallacious
people
points
for
that he's bringing
entertainment.
forth.
He's a sadist.
Let's move on.
Okay. In that sense, we can easily imagine that he made a system that will result to inevitable punishment. In other words, predetermination. So, I demonstrated my first point. Islamic scriptures reject free will.
Okay, let's see how that follows. That does not follow. That's a non-secular fallacy as well. Okay, just because he knows you will go to heaven or hell, and hence you will go to heaven or hell, or just because Allah prefers to forgive people, it doesn't mean that he is a sadist. That's literally the opposite of what a sadist is. Sadist wants you to sin and he wants to punish you, but Allah has said that he loves forgiving you. So that does not fall under what a sadist is. It's a non-secular. It does not follow. Stop making fallacious arguments, which are, by the way, off topic altogether. No, you have not, and here is why. Here is a clear verse that supports free will. Okay, for example, this verse in chapter 18, verse 29, the truth from your Lord, let anyone who wishes believe, and let anyone who wishes disbelieve, whoever pleases, with his free will believe, and whoever disbelieves. So it clearly says with his free will believe or disbelieve. Another word, indeed we have guided him to stay way. He is ungrateful or grateful. Okay, and here is another hadith. This is for what your hands have sent before, and because Allah is not the least unjust to the servants. So this is what your hands have sent before. This is chapter 3, verse 182. So it clearly says that Islam does have the idea of free will. There is no doubt. So there is some kind of free will here. It is not libertarian free will. No one talks about it. But the fact that there is free will in Islam shows that Islam does not necessitate determinism. This is where your whole video gets destroyed. And the thing is, you have not yet shown that Islam necessitates determinism, which was the topic at hand. This was the debate that was, you wanted to be about. And I wouldn't say this is a debate. This is me educating you, and I'm just refuting you at this point. So yes, as I was saying, Islam does not necessitate determinism because of this. And you said Islam negates free will. No, you have not shown that, because all you have shown is verses which have to do with al-qadr and ilm, and it is with knowledge and with qadr. Qadr does not have force. Okay, you need to show that we are being forced or we are being caused. You have not done that. Partial deterministic is not determinism, it is partial determinism. When you're talking about the position or the belief in determinism, have you seen all? So it cannot be. Muslim needs to be partially. So the topic is that the Islam necessitates determinism. You have to show all. You cannot show partial. So the fact that showing logic necessitates partial determinism and not complete determinism, you're not supporting your argument. You're going against your own the argument that the point that you're trying to prove. Okay, so he's talking about this contradicts the hadith. Let's look at the hadith, shall we? Okay, let's see what does that hadith really mean. He's saying that there's a contradiction. So the hadith basically is saying that that Aisha radhiyallahu anha said that these babies or these kids that died will be the bird of paradise, as it committed no sin, or neither did he reach the age where he could be accountable for his sin. So Prophet Muhammad said that it can be otherwise, because only the people that are worthy of heaven will go to heaven, and who are worthy of hell will go to hell. Okay, who are fit, basically when he says that who are fit for it, meaning worthy or of it. Okay, who belong there, who, okay, and yes, according to it, they were destined for it, because whoever are worthy for it, they're destined for it. But it doesn't mean that babies are not destined for it, because if you go to this hadith in Sahih Muslim 2635, if you go to 2635 of Sahih Muslim, you will clearly see what Prophet Muhammad and Islamic belief is. Here it is said that Abu Hassan reported, I said to Abu Hurairah that my 2 children had died. Would you narrate to me anything from Allah's messenger? So Allah's messenger said that he said, yes, small children are the fowls of paradise. Okay, so basically small children, they will be in paradise, there's no doubt about that, and they will not go to hell, because they're not accountable for it. And this is why Aisha, okay, once again, okay, CIA, let's watch this video, let's see how hilarious this is. It necessitates, this is what he's saying, it necessitates, okay, necessitates and certain, these are the words that he used. Let's see what the guy says in the video.
Already made a vaccine that can make you from a Muslim atheist. I will show you the video right now. Okay, look this video.
Excuse me, on the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics, and this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalists, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach.
What you see here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market and blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior.
Everyone can be a Muslim or a Christian if certain conditions are met. Like we say, everyone can be a serial killer if certain conditions are met. That's certain. Okay. CIA can take me now for a month in a lab and can make me a serial killer. That's certain. Okay, so the environment and our DNA certainly can determine whether we go to hell or heaven, even if there is free will, my friend.
That he himself uses. Clearly the guy in the video, I don't know who that really is, but he clearly said that it is their hypothesis that eliminating these genes, these behavior will also be eliminated. It is their hypothesis, not proven fact. Socrates' son, this is just embarrassing on your part. Okay, something that is a hypothesis is not certain. This is the whole point. It is because hypothesis and the scientific method works around the inductive. Basically, it is the inductive method. It is not certain. There is still some place of doubt. So yes, it is not certain. Don't act like it. Don't treat it like it. This is embarrassing.